I don't care what you do, how busy you are, what your situation is. We become victims of the belief that we don't have enough time. So, what Charles Fillmore says this: as children outgrow their clothes, and we outgrow our ideas and ambitions, broadening our horizons of life as we advance. There must be a constant elimination of the old to keep pace with this growth. When we cling to the old ideas, we hinder our advance or stop it altogether. When we cling to old ideas, he goes on to say, we must learn to let go, to give up, to make room for the things we have prayed for and desired. This is called elimination, renunciation. Even sacrifice, he says. He uses that word sacrifice. That's not a big word here in Unity. Sacrifice. Because it may...
Let's bring it back.
Thank you, Reverend. You want to come up here and pound the pulpit? You are all... Never mind. Moving right along. So, ideas limit us. So I'm going to tell a story to you about my wife, Heidi. And she knows this, that I'm going to do this, although she didn't give me permission. She did say, I did told her I'm going to be doing this, and she might like it. So when she was at the University of Michigan as a young woman, she's now, nearly of retirement age.
That's good.
Nearly of retirement age. Yes, that's general enough. While she was, which she is now, but when she was at the University of Michigan, she was very interested in landscape architecture and design. In fact, she even took some courses at Michigan for that purpose. However, in that day, her parents had some limiting ideas that they gave to her. They were, and other people with authority, by the way. Since she was about to be engaged to a young man who was going off to Harvard Law, remember in the old days, guys, some of you will remember very well, the wife used to put the husband through school and do her homemaking things and raise the children, and am I communicating here? Yes, all right. Well, that was the intent. That's what her parents told her to do, because this young man was very bright, and his father had a law firm in their town, and it looked very, very like he was a good catch. So they said, no architecture. Women don't go into architecture. That was here's another limiting belief. Yeah. Women don't go into architecture. That's a man's job. Now, this is 40 years ago, but still. So, she went into education, got her teaching certificate, and that was going to be her job, to put her husband, her highly successful and motivated husband, through Harvard Law. Well, it came time for the formal engagement date, and something in her said, no. No. Yes. Yes. A couple of our women down here in front are going, yes! Yes, she said no!
That's called a moment of grace.
A moment of grace. She actually said it was like there was a voice in her that said no. She couldn't believe it, because everything was all set up. It was a year of their graduation. Anyway, I won't go into such excruciating detail, but I love this story. Anyway, so she said no, and off she went, and she joined the airline. It was sort of like, joining the Army, but you couldn't do that then either. So she went off and became a flight attendant for American Airlines. And she just celebrated her 40th year as a flight attendant for American Airlines. So, and he married someone else who put him through school. So,
some other sucker.
Yeah. Someone who said yes instead of no. Anyway. So now, but Heidi, ever since that time, even though she has enjoyed her work with American Airlines, and they've been generally until about 5 years ago nice to their employees, and that's when the 30% across the board pay cut happened. Yeah, that's right, exactly. So it's been a pretty good run for her. She flies internationally now to wonderful places, which is nice. But just about 18 months ago, she said to me, I'm feeling unfulfilled and depressed. Of course, we men immediately think it's our fault. And I said, what can I do? She said, no. She said, I just am not expressing my creativity. And so we sat down together and I said, okay, what have been the dreams of your life? Well, the first thing that came right out of the box was, remember when I told you about the architecture school at the University of Michigan and how I took a couple classes but then had to drop out? And I said, yes. She said, that is just the love of my life. And I said, well, why don't you do it now? And remember I said she's nearing retirement age. So it's been 40 years with American Airlines, 40 years since graduation from the University of Michigan. 40 years, long time. So it doesn't make her, that's a very young person in my view, but not very young in some other people's view. And so we said, well, let's take a look at that. But she said, of course, today what you do is you go online. You go online and say, where can I find a place to study this? Maybe I can get some things online. And lo and behold, up pops this opportunity. This opportunity is this. A group of outstanding, world-renowned landscape architects have formed a school in the U.S. They also have one in Great Britain, right near London, but they formed a school in the U.S. near Boston. And she discovers this. Now, naturally, she discovers this. Now, Heidi is a person who can walk into a store and there's a sale on, and she says, oh, isn't that pretty? She picks it up. It's the only item on the rack that's not on sale.
I can do that.
You can do that too? Oh, good. Yes. So we look at the cost of this, and it is very, very expensive. It's a 9-month course where she'll have to fly back and forth to Boston, which that part is the easy part because you can fly on her passes. But the tuition and having to stay they're doing it in blocks of four days and nights, having to stay in a hotel for that period of time and so on. And with the tuition, this was a significant amount of money. Now we have, or I should have probably say, had a nice little nest egg that we're saving up for our retirement. And so I said to her, well, what do you want to do? She said, we cannot afford this. Now, is that a limiting belief, right? Now, the money was there, but it was for a different purpose, you see. For later on, when things might be rough, or when we weren't working, or whatever. So, I said, Heidi, look into it. See what you can learn about it. Maybe there's a scholarship. There wasn't. Well, long story short, in August, she matriculated into this wonderful course and is just like a little kid. So excited about this, and so happy, and in fact, she was just at a national conference of landscape architects that was in Dallas, and she was just on there, met some other wonderful people. She is reborn in a very real way, because this was a life dream that was taken away from her by her allowing other people to tell her what the limitations were. That you can't do it. Yay! Yeah. So this story is one that I'm living right now. I'm in the midst of this, and I have never, maybe on our wedding day, but never seen her so happy as she is now. After that, it was kind of downhill. But in any case, she is just happy and beaming and meeting new people, and just in real joy. So. And let me just take that to what I do and what I'm going to be doing while I'm here. And that is when I work with, okay, is it okay if I add? Come on, just a little bit. I won't take much time.